Like John Candy used to say, Okie dokies yokies, it's time to polka. Everybody polka. Alright, so I got the one thing I did wish, a document that I wrote up, I put together that I'm going to send it to those public servants for the Quebecers, but you know, I did want to or wish to get it out there so my Quebecois cousins could check it out, see where they're at. And like one guy was saying, hey, Quebec civil law, blah blah blah, but if you look at Quebec civil law, you'll find out that it's the common law, that Quebec civil law has to match up with the common law, and common law is your trump card. But seeing I can't go there, and that other show is on a computer with no internet, fucking 10 days or something. Yeah, we'll be there. I guess it takes a long time to fly from the Philippines to Canada to repair a phone line. You know, never used to be this bad. You know, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, you know, they'd have it fixed and within a day. You know, back in the day. We have gotten worse, okay? With all this modern technology, it's like all the corporations don't give a shit about you. You just don't matter. The institutions don't give a shit about you. You just don't matter. Because what are you? You're just one peon, right? That's okay. One more thing I wanted to just touch base on. You know, so computer's down or whatever, and I'm watching the movie Children of Men. I haven't seen it in a while, and I figured I'd watch it. I'm still on my downtime healing here. And so you know, I couldn't stop thinking about what's going on now watching that movie, just because I read the Pfizer warning on the Vaseline. Yeah, I got a warning about you know, freezing your sperm before you go get it. And don't have sex with a fertile rubber doll without a condom, because you could sterilize your rubber doll. So just letting you all know, all you folks, all you smart ones, all you real smart ones, yeah, we're so smart. And you know, it's funny, like a couple good friends of mine, I've talked about the one. He's a progressive whore. Like, really, you know, just terrible. But I refuse to allow something as like I refuse to act like Rwanda in the 1990s. You know, to hate people because of their political beliefs. If they wish to hate me, it's not my baggage, and I'm not carrying fucking baggage. You know, I got my own baggage. Every one of us is not perfect. Everybody thinks they're perfect. Everybody thinks they're the smartest, you know, the smartest, the brightest star in the sky, and the smartest one of the bunch. But I'm telling you, man, nobody's perfect. And no, not even Mr. President. You know, nobody is. I come from a generation to do the best you can with what you have, man. People fuck up all the time. You know, just a quick apology. Please forgive me. You know, I fucked up. I was off base. I didn't realize, you know, I was causing you grief, right? I mean, that goes a long way. Well, to me, anyways. I don't know. That's all old school. I don't know what you people believe. I'm not. As I'm looking at the world melt and burn around us, I'm not sure that you people believe anything. You know. So, but get off that. Okay. So, my brother's son-in-law, who's a good friend of mine and a man I respect, and the father of my niece's children, good man. Of cranky man. He's a cranky fucker. But anyways, he's like, Al, he says, I listen to you all the time, and we've worked together abroad and stuff, and been on the same cruise together and done other stuff together. And, he's like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, why don't you have like a common law for dummies, right? And, so I've thought about it, and he mentioned this to me a while back, and I've thought about it. And so I figured I'd throw this little unit together today, because even though people have a clue what a person is, people don't really have a clue what a person is. Yeah. And so, like, it's just a matter of, like, they're always saying, well, who is they, right? You've heard that before. Who is they, right? Right? Well, if you if you can see what persons are, then you can see who they are, or what they is. And actually, what they is would be a little more constructive, I believe. So, oh, you want to know who they is? You're gonna have to wait when I get to it, and I'll get to it. Okay, so let's talk about persons, right? And you've heard me say, we all have persons. Of course we do. You wouldn't be alive if you didn't have persons, right? Because a dead person doesn't have persons except for the dead person. And what's the property of a dead person? A grave? Dirt? How can the dead person defend its grave? It can't. So he needs a different person. So a different person, like an agent, to defend his grave. So his grave isn't desanctified or ripped apart, or there's a word for it, right? So the dead person does need a person to protect the person, right? Now, the person protecting the dead person also, within our society, or within society, let's not say our society, but within most civil societies, has another person to create a statute or an enactment to protect the person protecting the person. Okay, so it's clear as mud, right? All right. So, like, let's just say, okay, first person, man. Well, man's not a person. Person is a fiction. Well, no, not necessarily. All right. A man is a person, but it's a first person. You say, okay. A natural person, man. So let's classify man as the person of I, thou, me, my, myself, okay, us, our, ours, ourselves. First person. So like when you're looking at the Trinity, anyone who follows the faith, or a faith, I don't know about other faiths. I do know something about the Bible, not so much the Catholic one as the Protestant Bible, right? But so you got the Trinity, and these three agree, and they're one. So here you have the assembly of the person, and me, myself, and I. So me, myself, and I is the first person, and those three agree, and that is the assembly of man. Okay, now this is how I see it. Okay, but also this is what I have seen and witnessed to stand against the legal society, and we'll get to the legal society. All right. So when you get into your second person, which is like an agent, an artificial person, but not a fiction, because you bring that artificial person to life when you act as an agent. So you've heard of sui juris, right? Okay, so you haven't heard of sui juris, all right? But those guys that were running around using sui juris were acting as agent for themselves, or agent for myself, okay? Not themselves, myself, right? So it's a sui juris is when you act as an agent, agent for I, basically. And that's the second person. It's an artificial person, and it's like your own right, It's like one's own right to act as agent for his first person. So I can act as an agent. So, like, say I'm signing a document on behalf of myself. I can go in as sui juris, and I can sign the document, and then I can qualify that signature as agent. I have that right. That's my right to contract with myself. Right? Now, no one has a right to interfere with my contracts. Unless you're part of the contract, you have no say about my contract. I don't even have to show you my contract. And I've talked about this with folks, in the past about family court, right? Being a private court. There has to be two parties in the court that agree to access that family court. If you don't have the two parties, say you're at divorce court, right? Family court, divorce court. So, say you're at divorce court and, mama wants a divorce and daddy doesn't want a divorce. So mama's there with all her lawyers, and daddy shows up and says, look, man, this woman and I have a contract. I'm happy with the way the contract is. If this woman does wish to break said contract, then it's at her own peril. Now the court has no jurisdiction because they don't have all the players. There's no controversy. Now if anyone has a contract and one side breaks a contract, it is at their own peril, unless there's a clause in the contract they can do so without, retribution or whatever, right? So that's so that's yeah. So am I getting off? Are you confused yet? So you got your first person. Let's call it a natural person, the man, right? You got your second person. That's the agent of the man. And you go, oh, no, Al, you don't know what you're talking about. I had a lawyer that was my agent. The third person. Now, who is the third person? It's a statutory person. It's a fiction. Right? What's it known as? I wrote it down here. Alieni juris. So you got your sui juris, and you got your alieni juris, right? The alien. The sui juris is when you act as an agent for I, or when, like, that's you, yourself, yourselves. That is, see, that's the duality, right? Because you is always plural, and so that's when you're a sui juris. You, yourselves, your, okay? So there we go. So when you get to this alieni juris, it's when a legal person acts as your agent, basically. It means that you're under the control of another, right? And it's usually created by a statute, and so it's legal. That is the fictional person. So like when you guys are going on, I'm not that person, it's a fiction. Everybody gets confused about persons. So, and like I say, I'm doing this show because, Ty's been on me about, look, Al, we need, you need to do something, common law for dummies. And I'm not calling anybody a dummy, because it's just not the way of my people. All right, it's what I am doing here is just trying to get things down to perspective as I see it from what I know and what I've witnessed to be true. Okay? So another reason to have this alieni person or alien person, this alieni juris, right, is because when you have somebody who's a ward because they're a lunatic or they're a child. Child. So we're sitting in court one time, or sitting at court one time on the bench. And of course I always go to court. I always bring witnesses. Always. I never go to court. Yeah, whether they're a verifiable independent witness or if they're just a verifiable witness, it doesn't matter to me. What's the difference? The verifiable witness is somebody that you probably know and hang out with and drink beer with, but they're still there as a verifiable witness. And then independent verifiable witness is somebody that you don't drink beer with, that you see around the neighborhood from time to time, and they know who you are, and so they're willing to come in and act as a witness just because they're a neighbor or part of the community that you kind of are part of, within your neighborhood, right? So that could be, the guy that works at the store. We don't hang out together. I say hi to him every day. I buy my smokes. Fine. He would be an independent, verifiable witness if he saw something and I dragged him off to court. So that's okay. So getting off a bit. So, but that's another good show for doing a lesson for dummies, right? So yeah. So the third person. So a lot of people think their lawyer is their agent. Well, no, your lawyer is that third person, is that fiction, right? Your lawyer, your solicitor, your attorney, right, is that person. I know a lot of lawyers sell us out. I know a lot of them are lazy cunts that just don't give a shit. They know they're immune, they're not touchable. But there are some really good lawyers that, or folks who act as lawyers that do give a shit and do the best they can for people. I definitely enjoy watching Viva Fry and Barnes. Do I know them personally? No. Do I know they're actually good guys? No. But to me, they seem like good guys, and I really enjoy the show. And they really don't have to put all this stuff out in public. I mean, that Barnes, man, he's swift. He's fucking swift. And I'm on their platform that they have that's not on YouTube because they're worth it to me. Like since my operation, I'm sitting here, I got fuck all, I got no income, I got fuck all. The whole thing went for shit. I had it all planned, all lined up for last year. I waited years for this operation. Finally, I'm set up. Had all my ducks in a row, because I knew it was going to be a 3-month healing process, and if things worked out well, which they have, thank God for that. Oh, thank you, Lord. This is the first time I ever had a major abdominal surgery operation with no infection or fuck all, right? Yeah. But anyways, they don't have to be out there doing this and telling people and showing people stuff. And I know Viva Fry, he'd probably make a lot more money acting as a lawyer. What he specified as, or what his specialty was as a lawyer, I have no fucking clue. I don't know if it was civil or criminal. I can't think off the top of my head. What's going on, Seven? So I'm sitting in the truck with my dog, the puppy. Yeah. Want to say hi to these folks, Seven? Go roof. I said, fuck you. I don't want nothing to do with this shit. Yeah, lucky number 11. Anyways, let me roll down the window for you. So, in, over, around, or through, right? So, I spent, okay, so one of the reasons I did get the other show up with like, this time when I wrote up my documents for the Lieutenant Governor and the Attorney General and anybody else I wish to CC it to Quebec, I crossed my T's, dotted my I's, and I made them more exact, right? Usually I just do a general, just to give you guys an idea, because you don't template shit. Right? So what I do have is I have a notice, right? But I also have a basic letter from here. So we'll see what happens if I ever get my internet back. If I ever get a phone back. There's no cell service here either. Can't do it. It's just so I'm just backing off my neighbors, which is great because I like to come up here and come up and have a meal and a beer with friends if I get clients that come through, that kind of thing. It's just all part of the community, right? Okay, person number 1, right? Man, natural person. Okay? Person number 2, artificial person. So like sui juris, the agent for. So you can be your own agent. You can be the agent for your man, right? Person number 2. So it is an artificial person, but it's not a complete fiction, right? Because you have the right, okay? you okay, so a man has the right to act as agent, and then the man becomes you, right? So he's the agent, right? Now this is just my own shit, so we'll take it as gospel and start arguing with guys in black robes. I don't argue with guys in black robes or women in black robes. I ask dumb questions. And like I've told you before, if I'm standing at an open forum, at a public building, at a public courthouse, I always point to the other side and say, does this man say? Does this man say? Does this woman say? And then I use the guy in the black robe as the translator, the agent, right? Or the fiction, I don't care, but he's the translator, right? He can translate from legalese to English and back and forth. And I don't wish to be seen as an infant, as a lunatic, as a ward of the legal society. It's not my wish, okay? If I get dementia here, I'm looking pretty fucking old in the picture here. If I get dementia here or whatever, then I become a ward of my family. If they wish to put me as ward of my state, then that's fine. All right, so person number 1, natural person, okay? So it's basically the office of the man or woman. The artificial person is person number 2. So me, myself, and I is the artificial person. I, thou, me, my is the first person. And then the third person is the legal person, statutory person, a surrogate person, under the control of another ward, lunatic, infant. That's the third person, right? I don't wish to be there. And that's who people is, I try to say to guys, I tried talking to I used to go on buddy show in Alberta. I forget his name. And besides being like drastically boring, he doesn't understand the common law, and that's basically why I stopped listening to him. Because he's you know, I talked to him a couple times on his show through not Signal, but what's the one? The other one with the airplane there. And I have that on my computer, so I talked to him on a show or whatever, and he doesn't get it, and he doesn't understand who people is. You know? And if you know how to read that document they got south of us, our southern cousins there, you'll find out that people isn't somebody you wish to be. And everybody's running around, we the people, we the people, we the people. That's why when I saw those guys that cross the line bunch, and that guy preaching common law and telling you, you know, property, we're not property, slavery is outlawed. Fuck you. You know how many judges, how many guys in black robes have sat down to change paperwork, trying to convince folks that you can't call your kids property because slavery was outlawed, blah, blah. And they usually talk about Lincoln, not knowing their own Canadian history, that we outlawed slavery in 1793, not 1840, and not fucking whenever they did in the States. It's 1860, I don't know, whenever their Civil War was. Right. So, and I'm not dissing off my American cousins. Hey, Robin. I'm just doing a show here. Yeah, phone line's down, no internet, no phone. So I'm in the middle of doing a show. Yeah, have a good one. That's what I love about, the community. Everybody knows everybody. Even if you don't know people, you just walk up, hey, I see you around. Stick out your hand. Yeah, people still shake hands here. Ooh, ah. People are pretty respectful to each other around here. Some wear masks, some don't wear masks, but they have the mandatory mask thing. I have a disabled son. He cannot put on the mask himself, and nobody fucking tackles. I don't care if I'm injured or not. You touch my son, you're gonna have the wrath of Allah all over you. I don't give a fuck what costume you wear. I don't care what third person you are, because you're going fucking down. And I'll sue 6 ways from fucking Sunday. I'll go into every fucking jurisdiction. I'll go into every goddamn court. Fuck you. Oh man, after what I seen with that Australian woman slamming the van door on her leg and ripping her 4-year-old because she's wearing a sign that the government didn't like as she's walking down the street. Fuck you. Fuck you. Probably on the list now. I'm probably I was already on the list. Fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. You people. So people, third person, guys. Third person. He, she, it, they. Okay, so I just hit it. You want to know who they is? And they is the third person. Now you know who they is. They is a thing. A fictional thing that has been created by statute. That's who they is. Not they are, they is. Alright, so we got they. He, she, it, they, thing, them, their, and themselves. So, this is my first show on Common Law for Dummies. I don't know how many of these I do. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. So now that I've explained the 3 persons that I know about, I'm sure there must be more. I mean, because persons are a construct of man. Right? I mean, it's a construct of man. My dog doesn't construct anything. She's just natural. She doesn't even know she's actually a dog. She just knows that she is. Right? So that's it. That's it. That's all. She is. Right? She knows her and I aren't the same. And she loves me anyways. And she is of a different race. She's of the dog, the race of dog. She is of the race of dog, and she loves me, and I'm of the race of man. Interesting, eh? Fuckers. You know, politicians, these government actors, these state actors, these public servants, right? If they can't create a division, a vision of man, a division of mankind through the third person, then they have no importance. And if they have no importance, they can't collect off of us. They can't use us as live batteries, because that's all they're doing. You know, the alphabet companies, all third persons, right? Tell us, third person, right? It's they're constructed. They're of an act. They're all right. I'll complain to the CRTC first, and I might have to send them a bill. See how that goes. But with all the other shit going down and the free world burning, you know, we already had where bad governments have, you know, these bad actors have divided countries. They're at war because people are voting for somebody. They're getting machetes across the head. We've got other government actors that are shutting down the internet or shutting down Twitter and everybody because of the elections. That could be actually a good thing. I was thinking about that, Uganda. You know, if the government shuts down the alphabet companies so there's no social media through the election, on one hand you go, I don't know if that's a good thing, right? Because, well, then people can't converse easily. But on the other hand, it could be a good thing, because then the alphabet companies can't allow a lopsided conversation through social media, which is what we saw them do with our cousins down south. I'm not a trumpeter, okay? I think the guy's hilarious. I believe his heart is for First Nation. I don't know him personally. But that attitude, you guys, you know, that everybody hates, that's a New York attitude. I love what's his face, financial guy out of New York, out of Kingston, New York. What's his name? I watch him all the time. You know, he's an arrogant, self-centered motherfucker from hell. But I believe his heart's in the right place. He does the Trends Journal. I enjoy that guy. And boy, does he not like Cuomo. Or Newsom. Or any of them. He doesn't like Trump either. But, yeah, okay, so there's that. Did I get off? Okay. Revamp persons. 3 persons. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? First person. I, thou, me, my, mine, myself, we, us, our, ours, and ourselves. First person. Right? You know, basically it's a natural person, man. Right? Okay. Second person. Agent. Right? You, your, yourself, yourselves. It's the agent. That's why I like to use the word you when I'm talking, or if I'm conversing or communicating with one of my public servants, because they're acting as an agent. And that's why I like to use you. Right? So, artificial person, seri juris. That's the person number 2. An agent of the principle. Now, every man, every woman has a right to act as the agent of the principle. You could be you if you decide to act as a driver. Now, just because you hold a driver's license, just because you possess a government license, doesn't force you, enslave you. Oh, and let's use a better one. Let's use a birth certificate. Just because you received a birth certificate doesn't force you to be seen as that person. Now, that driver's license is pretty much connected to the birth certificate. This is why they're using the birth certificate, the driver's license nowadays, because they want that person. You're an agent of the state. You know, you're acting. Yeah. So, you know, as a second person, I have a right to go get a driver's license if I see that there's a benefit, because this is a benefit that is offered to me by the corporate body trust, the corporate body politic, corporation, right? And every one of those folks acts in trust. Now, when they attack you, why everybody, even Telus wanted to know my driver's license? Fuck you, Telus. Go fuck yourself, driver's license. You know, well, we just need to, you know, fuck you. You got my name, my number, my birth date, and my fucking home address. I need you to come fix the phone line, right? I'm not applying for a goddamn job. I hired you to give me a service, and you have a fucking monopoly on the area, cocksuckers. All right. Sorry. And third person, the legal personality. This is the fiction. This is the big fiction. Right? And this is a ward of the state. This is the lunatic. This is the infant. So when you get a lawyer to act as agent, so another man to act as agent, then you become the third person. You can become the infant. You become the lunatic. So I hope this thing for dummies helps. Maybe it doesn't. I don't fucking know. I don't public speak. All I know is what I know. All I can do is testify to what I witness to be true, from what I see, right? Me, myself, and I, the man, soul, spirit, and body, the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotion. Those three agree. Those three are one. That's the assembly. That's why you cannot outlaw the freedom of assembly lawfully, because we become as one. Quit the gathering, quit the protest, do the assemble. Why do we have freedom of assembly? Because even these fictions, these statutory creatures, right, recognize the supremacy of God. I'm trying to turn on my lights here. So even the statutory creatures, you know, see the supremacy of God. And what is the supremacy of God? That the three are one. The assemble is one. So Mark, when you assemble, let the I don't even want to tell you what to do. You're going to traffic court. Traffic court isn't even high enough, and that's for another show for dummies. But the reason you're actually in traffic court, it's not just so they can fine you, take your driver's license away, lean your home, and all that wonderful, some beautiful shit, ruin your life. But it's because that is where the statute lies. That's where I don't even think it's legislation. Yeah, the legislation of the whatever emergency act that they're using. That's where it lies. It lies in the third person, in the fiction. That's why it can't be at Supreme Court. Now, as a man, as a woman, you have a right to bring it up to the Supreme Court. And this is what I have learned to do by being able to stand at an inferior court at a public courthouse and say, who says? And when I say who says, I mean who fucking says. I don't want to hear some third person get sworn in and blah blah blah, officer such and such and whatever. Okay, because that office was created by an act. That's the third person. That is the fiction. Anyways, I'll do another one on. I'm gonna do another one on this parent co-parent thing. Just maybe I can clarify something, but not being a public speaker, I'm not really good at this shit. So, but anyways, I'm gonna do another one on this parent thing, and we'll see how that goes. But so person 1, 2, and 3, right? Cheers, and God bless, and stay free.